How does a hiring manager fill a vacancy? Hello, my name is Maarten C. Jong. I'm a hiring manager and recruiter for the last 20 years, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know and demystify the process. At the end of this video, you will have your aha moment like, okay, that's the real reason why I don't get a reply for my vacancies. If you have seen the previous video, in the previous video, I explained to you that a hiring manager is not filling a vacancy with people that apply on the website of the company or the LinkedIn page or Indeed. Of course, a legitimate question is like, why go through all the hassle of Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor? Well, I already made enough commercials now for those platforms. If nobody's doing anything with it, well, the sad case is that, or the sad truth is that it's procedure. A lot of people are involved with recruiting new people. Of course, HR has a role in setting up the job description, doing the filtering, the hygiene calls, procurement things. It's good to have a process to if there's a vacancy to put it out on different platforms for transparency reasons. I understand you don't want people hiring their own friends, cousins, nephews, etc., etc. And of course, sales and marketing. A company that is hiring, a company that has vacancies on its website is considered to be successful. And I know this from my own reality. If you have like 20 vacancies on your website, which you're never going to fill, people will say, wow, you are doing a very good job. You must be very healthy looking for so many people. So there is like a whole structure, a whole team of people involved with this recruitment that are involved and want to stay involved and do want the recruiter or the hiring manager to follow this procedure. But in the end, like I already explained, putting a post, not a post, a vacancy on Indeed, on LinkedIn, it will return like hundreds of applicants. 99% of them are not relevant, and it just costs a lot of time, and a lot of negative energy because all of these candidates will complain, I don't hear anything, or the reason I got is bogus. So why go through it? Well, I just described the reasons for that. But how does a hiring manager fill a vacancy? Well, it might be a little bit shocking, but before, as a hiring manager, you know that there is vacancy, you start looking for yourself. As a hiring manager, you know what you want. You know the type of person, the skills, the competences, etc., etc. So before you even tell HR that there is a vacancy, you already start thinking informally, talking to people to see which candidates might be relevant. And besides your own network, of course, you will ask your close colleagues, like, okay, guys and girls, we need a new a colleague. We're going to post a vacancy. I would rather pay you some money than to a platform or to a recruiter. So can you find somebody in your own network through internal referral that could do this job? Because of course your own colleagues know exactly what kind of people, skills, competences is needed to be successful in the job. So as a hiring manager, you dive into your own network and you ask your close colleagues, like, also check your internal, your own networks, and cash in on those internal referrals. The colleagues that bring in another colleague, well, they get €1,000, 1,500, 2,000 weekend to row. In Dutch, they probably get an electric bike because we love biking here. But you know what I mean. Before the vacancy gets to HR, already people are looking, people are searching for the right candidates, and that's also one of the reasons that these vacancies, once they get onto the internet, they are so fake, and not fake, but vague, like fuzzy. Like, yeah, and I also go through these vacancies with my candidates, and it doesn't lead to anything. These vacancies are like 5 pages long. Nobody understands in the end what exactly it is that they really want. And so my candidates also ask me, like, but do I fit here? How should we tailor the cover letter? And well, the reason is, most of the times the hiring manager, yeah, doesn't even want people to apply on this vacancy, and doesn't even take the energy to really tailor this vacancy on what he really wants, because he already told what he really wants to his close colleagues, and he knows it himself, and he already went in his own network searching for the right candidate. So tailoring the vacancy to his or her needs isn't necessary. It takes a lot of time. So they just take a vacancy from 5 years ago, add or change the date and some numbers, and they post it online. And as a candidate, if you apply to these vacancies, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's vague. It's way too long. They ask like a million things. It's almost as if they don't want you to apply. But the real kicker always is in these vacancies, the bottom paragraph nowadays. Okay, we understand that you don't fit 100%. We still want you to apply, even if you don't fit 100%. Like, what is that? I mean, if you don't, why don't you make a vacancy that with the competences, the skills that you really want, instead of like blurting 5 pages of wishes, and then in the end saying, yeah, but if you don't comply with everything, that's also fine. No, that's not fine. And that's just strange if you ask me. And like I told you, it's almost like they think like, well, people don't apply anyway, or if they apply, we're gonna reject them, whatever they write in their cover letters and their CVs. So a hiring manager, instead of waiting for people to apply, already searched for the right candidate in his or her own network. And the hiring manager asked his colleagues, do you know people you worked with before that could do the job? And what about recruiters? How do recruiters look for candidates? Do recruiters wait for people to apply on their vacancies? The vacancies that recruiters post are always even more vague than normal companies do, because they are afraid to mention the employer's name, the location. And so talking about vague vacancies, a recruiter vacancy is even more difficult to understand. How does a recruiter find candidates? Well, you would think that a recruiter would go into the recruiter database. And it's very logical that you think like this. But the fact is, 9 out of 10 recruiters, the first thing they do when they have a vacancy from a client, a job description, is they go on to LinkedIn and search for a candidate. They don't look into their own databases, simply because these databases are old they all look for candidates. So when you apply through the website or through another channel on the official vacancy, HR will carry your resume to the hiring manager, and the hiring manager will say, well, thank you, but I already got a preferred candidate. Some internal colleagues already brought me a candidate, or this recruiter already brought me a candidate. So chances that you land a job through the formal direct application process is very small. So how do the hiring manager, the internal colleagues, and the recruiter search for candidates? Well, it's not a surprise anymore. I think it's LinkedIn. In the Netherlands, I'm from the Netherlands. If you didn't already hear my my little accent, LinkedIn is by far the network, the best network to find candidates or to find employers. So LinkedIn is the major platform to search on. Personally, I also searched on Indeed, in the Indeed database, but it was by no comparison the same as LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is, at least in Western Europe, I think the main platform to go for. And the question now is, now you know that you don't have to apply because the hiring manager, colleagues, recruiters are searching. They're searching for you. So the only thing that you need to do is to be found. You need to be found. You need to turn your profile, your LinkedIn profile, and your traditional resume into a magnet so people can find you. And this is what I'm going to explain in the next video. I wish you very happy job hunting for today, and I'll see you in the next episode.